What is up, gentlemen? Good evening.
What's up? Good to see you guys.
Happy Tuesday, man.
Happy Tuesday. Has it only been a week? Because it seems like it's been a month since the last.
It has been a long week. That's not, and it's not even, at least on my end, it's not been a productive week. It's just been a long week.
Long week.
What's up, Yank Your Crank at Mosier Boy? Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Which I got it's all dark in here. Let me get some light. Here we go. I'm sporting my new. I'm gonna do a little bit of model pose there. That's my new Sinister Swim Baits shirt. This is the apparel stuff that Yank Your Crank is doing. So if you're interested in getting yourself some rad fishing shirts, that's what I'm sporting today. Hit up Yank Your Crank in the chat.
Damien Donuts, good evening. Yeah, I'm a jealous. # jealous.
Yeah, I made for a funny conversation behind the scenes, Chris.
You
know what's also funny about that was I was digging through my laundry and I was trying to find my Grant McIntosh shirt. And I was like, oh, damn it. Rachel's got that one in the wash. I can't wear it. And I was like, oh, Chris just sent me this. I'm going to wear the Chris shirt. So, sorry, Grant.
No, I had a lengthy conversation with Chris about his Sinister Baits and his new camouflage hoodies that he's going to be sending out, but I haven't seen one, so.
So as is typically the case here, everybody looking for merch and everything, if you're showing up to the chat and people are representing your merch, expect everybody in the chat to dogpile you on that. Chris,
yeah,
should have warned you in advance. Sorry.
Say I'm going to need a Sinister Bait to go underneath the Yank Your Crank sticker up there.
Yeah.
What's up, Mosier boy? Who we got in here tonight? Let's see. I know we got people dropping in. Of course, we got Chris. That's Yank Your Crank right there. Good evening, sir. And we got Grant, me, John, Mosier boy. What's up, man? Damien Donuts. Good to see you. So what have we been missing out on? Miss Janet McIntosh. Always a pleasure to see you, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
What did we miss this weekend? Let's get caught up here. Did you guys do anything interesting? I did not.
I watched a lot of football.
Yes.
Went to the football game Saturday, high school football game. And that's about what I did.
Your team smoked that like usual.
Yeah, 72-7.
That's crazy, man.
That is crazy.
I made a huge mistake. And I tried to rectify it this year. So Rachel is a huge football fan. Family's from Wisconsin, so they're all a bunch of Packers fans. I've been a Packers fan since Brett Favre. I like the Packers. They're a top two team for me as far as my favorites. My Packers, my Texans, who played this weekend. So I was like, come hell or high water, I'm getting that football game for Rachel. She has not got any football this year. I'm going to get that game. We're going to have fun. And so while she was doing that, I was cooking. I put on the football game, and then I went and I was doing some cooking. I was doing some barbecue stuff. And, oh, my God, I had completely forgotten how much fun she is. The second that TV came on, she's like, oh, that's a goddamn penalty. Like, they didn't even show the play. It was just instinctual immediately. It was a penalty. The Packers weren't winning by 40 points. Had to have been a penalty, and that did not end for like 3 hours. It was glorious.
And the Packers ended up winning, too.
Yeah, that was rough to watch. To be honest, I'm leaning a little bit more Texans. Either one of them, I'm happy to see. They're all tied up, in the standings and whatnot. So I'm happy to see them both. But I was kind of feeling like that was a little bit more of a Texans game to lose.
Yeah, well.
What's up, David? Sorry, I missed you a second ago.
Yeah, I want to see some snaring.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
Snaring rabbits.
You need to do that. Like, if you're not a fan, watch Naked and Afraid. Watch how they do the presentation on that. Like, they build. I know I talk about Naked and Afraid a lot. I love that show. But the way they do the build up on the trapping that they do, like they explain the whole little thing. They've got all the B-roll. They've got all the high stakes. Like they're gonna starve. Do some snaring like that. Like, give us that dramatic element.
And then he makes the rabbit pot pie and serves it to his little girls, and they just wear it out.
Exactly.
I got some chainsawing done. What's up, Danny? Caught the end of that game. I got some chainsawing done, and that was pretty much it. I found 2 small, I'm talking small ponds, in that there's a center woods on the property in the center of a field. And it's kind of a pretty big cliff off one side, off the hill. And inside that little bowl off the cliff, there's 2 small little ponds. I mean, they're only a couple inches with tadpoles and frogs, but it's a heck of a deer hole. I mean, it is covered in deer tracks and raccoon tracks. And
gotta get water somewhere.
Nice.
Yep. Well, that was pretty cool. But yeah, I got quite a bit. I'm trying to get that center woods, the low end. I'm trying to get the trees cleaned up. There's a lot of old stuff laid down on the ground, getting it chainsaw, and that old, I guess, cured wood that's been laying there dried out. Where's that chainsaw out quick?
Huh.
Dulls it quick. What's up, Mark? Yeah, I'm trying to get that all cleaned up so that if we do end up getting a duck hole made, we can wade in there with it being flooded and not have to worry about tripping over some logs and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Just trying to get it cleaned up. It's crazy. It was like they've probably been living there for 20 years, the different generations of deer. I mean, it was just like a big 3-acre woods that, like a bowl, basically. And
wow.
I mean, it's just deer trails all through it and a couple.
It's great. Did you say it's 3 acres?
Yeah, it's a 3-acre woods in the center of what was a bean field this year. Yeah, I sent David a little video of it.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be a producer. Like everything that you've told us about it, getting to see that like we did a couple weeks ago.
I thought about going out there tonight, but it's getting dark at like 20 till 7. So
get yourself some nice lighting, some fancy like show lights
inside the blind.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude, that says it all right. Oh, sorry, no, that's that says it all right there.
Yeah, it's set up. I mean, it seems like it's meant to be. I mean, everything is coming. It's like those 2 ponds. If that's part of the duck hole, that's going to be some deeper water inside the woods. I mean, it'll just be a sweet little spot.
Yeah. Sounds that way.
I presume you can put some tilapia and stuff in there, or
I don't know. I was telling Janet, I think I could take a shovel out there and kind of clean it up to make it a little better. With just a shovel, because they're not that big. I mean, one's probably 20 foot by 20 foot, and the other one maybe 20 foot by 40 foot. I mean, they're
what
not
separates
really
them?
Right now, 2 fallen down trees and about 40 feet.
Get the excavator in there and go ahead and make it one big pond.
Yeah. That's
yeah. I mean, how much would it be just to get I assume you can't do like a bobcat, but like an excavator like that. That could be worth the investment.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in there for quite a while. I mean, there's some big round trees in there, and the 2 trees that have fallen, it was like one snapped in half and hit the other one next to it, so they're both just laid down. I think I'm just going to leave them there. I think if there is water in there, be a cool spot for ducks to come out of the water on the log,
Yeah.
raccoon to walk down the log or something.
Mm-hmm. I respect that.
I had Janet out there helping me. I told her I'm gonna have to quit taking her. She tripped she's been out there twice helping me, and she's tripped both times.
You got to get your feel for the place. I understand. I get that. Rachel, she's been teaching at this school that she's at now. She's been teaching there probably 5 years, and she still trips on her way through the parking lot. So,
well, there's vines everywhere. These wild vines all over the place. Some of them, they've been in there a long time. They're bigger around than a softball.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I've been working out there trying to. I called the farmer today to ask him if he was still going to bush hog, and he said he was. Blaming it on the hurricane slowing him down. The hurricane put us behind. What was that? 3 weeks ago? Was that a month ago? I mean,
in the south,
we got rain from it. I'll have to look at my phone to see when it was. But I planted the food plot on that Friday. I went out there that afternoon and planted my food plot seed, and then it rained Saturday and Sunday. But we haven't had any rain since then. I mean, it has been dry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mark. I don't think it's a spring. I think the ponds have been there for a long time, and I mean, there's just a couple of inches of water. But that is the last time it rained, and they're holding some water, so it's pretty cool. It's definitely a drinking hole for the deer. I mean, it's just ate up with tracks.
All right. Well, I tell you what, gentlemen, we got a topic of conversation to have here, and we were holding back. We had just like the little hint of conversation behind the scenes before we started here, and then kind of squashed that because it was like, nope, this is a conversation that we're going to have on air. So get ready to see John lose an argument.
Who says I'm going to argue with anybody?
What's funny is the way your screen froze when you said that. You should be arguing for something here, but I don't know what. Like, honestly, I don't know what side of this. So basically, the topic of conversation tonight is Amendment 2 in Florida. It's a new law that they're passing. This is, it's the Republicans who are putting this out here, and the law is Amendment 2. I don't know the specifics, but it's basically what they're trying to do is protect the rights of fishermen and hunters for multiple generations. Like, I want to make sure that hunting and fishing is available for people who, for enthusiasts, many generations down the road. That's the purpose of the amendments that they're trying to make. Now, on the other side of the coin, you have on the Democratic side is opposed to this, just because you have to be opposed to the other side of the party, for one. But for two, they're opposed to it because they feel like this is simply for the sake of special interest groups. They think it's for, trying to make money off of something. And they don't think they think that all of the rhetoric, all of the verbiage in the Amendment 2 is all stuff that's already in place, and it's not doing anything to actually help. It's just to favor special interest groups. So that's the conversation. But what it comes down to, the interesting part about this conversation is that they really get divisive when it comes to the conversation of how to do population control. On the one side, they're talking about, let hunters and fishermen, let them have a big hand in population control. And on the other side, they're saying, well, that's not going to work because, that's great. Let hunters do all the population control, but all that's going to do is handle whitetail. That's not going to take out, you can't just hunt down a bunch of whitetail to do population control. There needs to be more scientific management. So you tell me, what is a better way of doing this? What are your thoughts on Amendment 2 and what needs to be done on this? Do you think it needs to be more in the hands of the enthusiasts, of us? Or is this something that needs to be scientifically managed? And where do we stand on this argument? John, I cut you off behind the scenes, man. What were you saying? Because I was
going to agree with you 100% and say, yep.
That was it?
No.
Man,
Well,
remember to. I need to win you over if I ever run for an office.
I like going with science, but sometimes the people doing science aren't doing science right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Special
You know,
interest
they
groups
talk
do
about-
science.
Yeah, the red snapper population in the Gulf, that's managed scientifically. You only take out so many because they can somehow magically know that there's not many there, but there's actually tons of them there, right? Tons of red snapper. So I think that's a place where that system fails. But I don't know. It's hard. Like you said, I read the article and it just kind of made it sound like it's more political than anything else.
Yeah, like they weren't like nobody was actually addressing anything that had anything to do with wildlife or actual
Right.
hunting.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. It's even the name, like I don't know if they did this on purpose. I feel like they did the name Amendment 2. To me sounds like they're trying to, like worm their way in with like, oh, this is like a First Amendment right, Second Amendment right kind of a thing,
Well,
rather than giving it a different name.
I did see it is an amendment to their state constitution.
So it is an actual amendment
Yeah,
too.
for their state constitution.
Right. Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is, is it not already protected under an existing state law? What is the reason for doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't
There's-
have
there's-
specifics in the article and I've got it linked. And if anybody wants to check it out, the link to this whole article and everything going on over here is in the description of the video. Put us in our place. Like, let us know your thoughts on that. Cause I didn't get specifics out of what they were actually covering in that bill. I imagine it's probably like 500 pages or something.
Right. Yeah. If it's already protected, then there's something in the fine print of all those pages that they're trying to slip in there somewhere.
Yeah, and all I can figure out is that how it's managed. One says the hunters and anglers group, and then the other one say no science. And I think that's what the main point is. But I think the Republicans putting it in are like, see, we love you, hunters and anglers. But then Democrats are like, wait a minute, we didn't pass, so we can't say that.
And then what's funny too is how those conversations go, because it's being presented by Republicans, and I'm riding the wire on this one. Like, I'm not trying to stir up the pot between Republicans and Democrats or anything like that. But it was presented by the Republicans by a gentleman who says, I'm a hunter, I'm a hunting enthusiast, and I believe in this bill and everything they're doing. And then the Democrat guy popped up and said, no, this is wrong. This is not how we need to be doing our wildlife management. And I'm an avid fisherman. I know what's right. And I'm just like, I really get the feeling that neither one of you guys does any hunting and fishing. Like, I feel like you're both just talking out your ass on this. Yes, thank you, Danny. You're right. I think that's probably the best argument right there is they're both wrong.
Yeah, it's not good.
I guess they've got, so on that link that I've got, I'm not going to go reading this whole thing because we don't have, 5 hours to be reading this.
Right.
But I've got the link on there if you want to, especially if you're in Florida and you're going to be, voting, here you go. Here's all the information that you need about it. Look into that because as the power, the entire purpose of this is to affect future generations. So it's going to be all about your kids and grandkids. And it's going to affect them. So I get antsy about this stuff. And we had a gentleman in the chat, Kiwi, who we'll see in the pictures here in a little bit. He was talking about how they've got some rules, and I didn't get to read into this. He was upset. It texted me. He DM'd me in the Discord server saying, they are screwing up. Now, this is a younger gentleman, and he is hot about how they're screwing up the striped bass stuff up in his area.
Oh.
And I don't know the specifics. If you guys do, please let me in. But everything that I heard about this was just red snapper, like the exact same crap that we get for those guys here.
Yeah. I'm not sure where he's at. And I'm not sure about stripers or striped bass or any of that. I've caught them a few times, but not locally.
I don't have any under my belt yet, so I feel like I'm just going to be walking into a mess if and when that time comes.
Grant froze up on us. Oh, there you go.
What's up, Ben? Good to see you, man. Ben, so are you familiar with that? Are you familiar with the regulations on striped bass and issues that they're having with that? There was a gentleman in the server asking about it. I didn't have the information to be able to provide on that. What I'm complaining about here is this whole Amendment 2 thing that they're doing in Florida, where they are trying to pass legislation to help protect hunting and fishing for future generations. On the other side, they believe that that's just a bunch of money going towards special interest groups. And the whole thing kind of comes to a cross where they talk about whether or not hunting and fishing enthusiasts should have maybe a bigger hand in population control. So, I mean, personally, I don't see, if you have a deer that's been hit by a car on the side of the road, you can call T-Paw, you can call, what is that organization up in like the Midwest instead of T-Paw? It's
each state's, like ours is IDNR, you know, like
IBNR. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Michigan.
you call them and they'll let you have that deer that's dead on the side of the road.
yeah. Yep.
I can't help but feel like there's got to be something that can be done about, like, red snapper is the one that we can easily come back to on this. If they're doing population control, again, why is that such a heavily handed thing towards recreational guys when it's the commercial industries that are like such a problem?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But they can pay that little extra money to do that. You know, buy that commercial fishing license and they can get whatever they want.
You know, we've talked about the merits of getting a commercial fishing license here for red snapper. I think what we came down to was it wasn't really beneficial too much because of the cost for us to get that far offshore. And the boat, you know, we have to have a weather window, whereas the commercial guys, they don't give a shit about them. OSHA doesn't exist offshore like that far. So they can send them out in 5-8 foot seas to go for red snapper. I don't think anybody cares.
Gotcha.
We go fishing saying, yeah, okay, same thing with the, so yeah. Kiwi, you watching this later on or whatever. So everything that I'm saying about red snapper, you guys have, it's like the exact same thing. It's a money game for you guys up there. The commercial industry makes a lot of money. And so, what is seen in the industry is the wreck guys. You see somebody catch, you know, a 40-inch striped bass, and you get upset about it when you don't catch one, things like that. It's in the news, whatever. The commercial guys aren't being seen, but their money is.
Yep.
So it's important to get in on regulations, which is, again, why we came back to this Amendment 2 is like the topic of conversation for tonight. Doesn't affect me down here, at least not yet, but that's something that's worth looking into in Florida if you're over there. And everybody else, be mindful if this is something that passes or doesn't pass. You know, if you have something like that pop up in your state in future elections, be aware of how that went. Be understanding of that.
What's next?
Oh, let me see here. You know what? This is... There was some other stuff in the news. I forget what it was.
Maltov, how you doing?
What's up, Maltov?
Meal prep. All right, good. Being productive.
We've got more strict lobster fishing rules being delayed.
Oh.
Oh, they're being delayed, but they're still seeing less numbers of lobsters. So, same thing that's happening with lobster that you see with the crab fishermen over in the Alaska area.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I hate hearing that. And, you know, we see it with blue crabs here. You ever back in the day, John, you ever run into one of those just absolute monster blue crabs?
I can't see your hand, so I don't know how big you're talking about.
That big, like bigger than the screen.
Bigger than the screen?
One of those guys.
Bigger than your head is what you're saying.
Yeah. They got a pretty big head, man.
Maybe 8 inch across or so. I've never come across any really big ones.
And that is a heck of a conspiracy theory. I don't like getting into conspiracy stuff. I really feel like it just comes down to like just the flat dollar amounts, because I don't feel like this is anything too deep. But yeah, I mean, food stocks, that's becoming more and more valuable by the day.
True.
Look at beef prices now versus 5 years ago.
Yeah, all prices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I think that blue crawdad, I think it's identified as a, what is it? The invasive species in Texas.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they say like you can't catch them and use them for bait. I have to see if I can find that. It was in Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Yeah, that's news to me. I saw one once. I was pretty excited. Let it go. I didn't know it was like a separate thing. And he wasn't giant. Now, there is one. They've got the Australian, those big badass Australian ones down in the valley. Those are invasive, and you can get those in the Rio Grande. I haven't come across them, though. They haven't really spread out too much. It's a couple select ponds. I don't know which ones. I would dearly love to, though. I'm actively trying to figure out what ponds they are, because I would make a weekend trip down to the Rio Grande Valley just to bag out on massive Australian crawfish. I think that would be amazing. Especially nowadays when you have things like lobsters in decline, you have king crab in decline. They're putting stricter rules. The fisheries are just decimated right now. So you go after invasive crawfish, I think that would be wicked.
I don't know. I can only find one article, but it's talking about the Australian red claw crawdad that they found in Texas.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I can't find out where they were.
Rio Grande Valley.
Hey, I know it's the RGV, but like it's not just any, like you can't just go to the Rio Grande River.
So they found some in a apartment complex pond.
Yes, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, but they don't say what apartment complex.
Grand Valley. No, that's Rio Grande.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Brownsville area.
Yeah.
And that's
they did a news report. It was like 2 years ago. It was in the news, and I was literally like looking at street signs in the background, trying to find what street they're reporting from, and looking at Google Maps and trying. Like I put a little bit of time trying to figure it out. I couldn't do it.
Nice.
Wow, that's the only crayfish I see that they're saying is invasive here.
If anybody has any information, hold on, I'm gonna get serious about this for a second. If you or anybody you know has any information regarding the red clawed, whatever big badass crawdad, this is a dangerous and invasive species that is decimating the Rio Grande Valley, please let us know. You can contact me with the information available in the description of this video down here. We are going to come and take care of that, but we need you and your help in order to do so. Please let us know wherever these are. my PSA for today.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was totally off my ass. If I could do that, out of my ass PSAs.
Oh yeah. Definitely be good.
I was just going to say, if they didn't have regulations, then of course things could get depleted a lot quicker. But there's always going to be those people that don't care about the regulations and overdo it.
Yeah.
Well said. You know, for all of the complaining and bitching I do about that kind of stuff, you are right. Like we need to have the regulations and we got to follow them. there's been 1,000 times I've gone out on the Port Aransas jetty and I see a 10-year-old walking back with a 40-inch redfish. You know, there's a reason that happens. Like, Dad let the kid do it.
I've been out at the lake and have a guy right next to me have his 25 crappie in a bucket, and his wife pulls up, gives him an empty bucket, and she takes the 25 crappie home, and he starts filling up that second bucket.
Yep, I've seen that one too. That one, and the spearfishing. People don't understand that, you know, you can't go spearfishing for certain species down here. And I'll be out there on a really pretty day, and there'll be a hobbyist who's out there spearfishing for the first time. And I swear, they'll have, you know, 10-inch sheepshead on a stringer, maybe a redfish. It's like, dude, if you're going to do that, you got to get good about hiding it. Like, you are doing this all wrong.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy that'll get out of there without seeing the game warden.
And he's not the one that you even need to worry about. Like, he's a dumbass. There's people who do it, you know, that are malicious, and they're the ones you got to worry about. The dumbasses, like, I'm fine with that. You warn them once, and you're good. We came across a couple at the Fish Pass jetty one weekend, and it was just covered in blue crabs. It was just like their season. But with blue crabs, if they've got the roe, then you've got to let them go. I think even, like, if I'm not mistaken, females are illegal. You're not allowed to have them during that time of the year. And man, this couple they were excited. They had a 5-gallon bucket full of all roe crabs. And I was like, that hurts to see, because they only like breed once. And I was like, man, I'm like, hey guys, like, I pulled them aside and I was like, hey, just so you know, that's a big no-no. Like, you really need to be letting those go. That's not keepable stuff right there. And they're cool about it. They didn't know. Let them all go. They were really sorry, and, you know, 90% of the time, that's how that conversation goes. Dude, I can't even tell you how adamant. There's two things. It's those red claw crawdads down at that apartment complex in Brownsville that I'm desperately trying to get my hands on. And somewhere in Kingsville is a pond where they have they've got piranhas stocked. And those two are like probably the single highest thing on my bucket list right now. Nice. I kind of want to get into a big gar, but that's like I could do that if I just spent a couple of days at some areas around here. Like, I know they're there. The piranha and those crawdads are the things that I'm like, I might retire from YouTube after I do that. That's going to be like the thing.
The ultimate goal.
Yeah. Like, how do I top that? How do I top Australian crawdads and piranha in Texas? Like, I've got a 10-foot shark. I've got monster crawdads, piranha, a big gar, and everything, maybe alligator. And you know, and then after that, everything else kind of tails off.
We've got the red swamp crayfish and the rusty crayfish that are invasive in Illinois.
Are they big?
The red swamp crayfish looks pretty big, and the rusty crayfish is small. I don't even know how many native crayfish Illinois has.
Yeah.
I don't.
23.
Wow. I had no idea there was so many. I thought we just had like the one here, and I didn't know they went that far north. What's up,
yeah. Yeah, you got them up in Michigan.
Oh, Chris, is that like close to you? Or is it another one of these like stories where it's like, yeah, a friend of a friend of a friend told me that he saw a pond once with a piranha?
Right.
Because that's the story I keep getting here.
Can't find the actual piranha pond or the red claw crayfish pond.
The piranhas, the funny thing about that is my brother he wanted to be a veterinarian, so he did all of the biology classes at A&M. Rachel is an environmental science major, and same thing. She had to take all of the biology classes. So they have one of the classes that they take, I think it's zoology or whatever, I don't know, but they have to go collect specimens. They had to have like 100 preserved specimens. And both those times, in my brother's class and in Rachel's class, there was that guy that showed up with a piranha.
Oh wow!
And you know, this was before YouTube and everything, and I'm like, dude, I want that. Back then, 15 years ago, I was like, I want this damn piranha. I want to get in on that. And I've you know, like, it happened twice. Both those times somebody had one, so that's an accessible place that people go. I just can't find out where.
Right. Reward for the coordinates to the piranha pond for Stanley.
There is a very important problem that we have not discussed enough in America, and that is the existence of these piranha ponds in our local ponds and places. You might have them on your land, and if you do, you really need to let us know. My contact information is in the description of this video down below. Please let us know so that I can come and take care of your piranha problem.
Good Lord.
He says, all right, Chris is saying they're within 30 minutes. They're pictures of the bait shop. 13 years they've been catching them from a dock. All right. Then next time I get to your area, because I've driven, we should have met up earlier this year, and you and I were in different parts of the country when that happened. I'm putting that as super high on my bucket list of things, is that when I get back up that direction, that's what we're going to go do. We're going to go get piranha.
I'd like to see that collab.
That would be an adventure. What is that called? The Heartland? A true American tale of bravery and courage.
Stanley Orchard.
Travel to America's
Sinister
Heartland.
Baits.
What do you think? Sinister Baits? Would that get a piranha? I bet they are. I bet
Looks
they
like
are.
a bluegill. Just a big bluegill.
Yeah.
The nasty chompers.
I'm all about it, Molotov. What's up? What you got, dude? I'm all about them collabs. I got to collab with these guys a couple times.
Several times. Where's he at? Is he close to you?
He's up in your area. I don't know exactly. Are you Chicago? Molotov, is that where you're at? I forget. Oh, is it? It's real bloody? I didn't know that. I hadn't gotten close enough to be able to tell.
So other than the bones, the eel was pretty good?
Yeah, the eel. I would eat that again. I wouldn't ever want to have to fillet it. That was the most painful thing to fillet. It was like filleting an octopus tentacle. You know, like it's just all wired like a snake wrapping around you, and it's slimy like a catfish. Just painful to try to fillet that damn thing. But the meat was good. The meat was definitely worth it. Just not worth the process of fillet. It took me like an hour and a half to fillet that thing. One fish, like that was miserable. Yeah, Molotov's in Michigan. Sorry, man. I knew you were in that general area.
He's up there, Dearborn.
About 9 hours from me. So that means you're 23 hours from Stanley.
About right.
Yeah, that's like a Texas 9 hours isn't terrible. I know that 9 hours is a little bit different up in your area. To me, that's like, okay, that's like driving out of the state.
All right. Yeah, I think it took us 4 hours to get to Texas, and like 9 or 10 hours to get across Texas.
Wow, yeah.
Yep.
Get your license. You want to make a road trip, man? We'll get you set up down here on you want to spend some time at the beach, man.
John will be in Michigan before too long.
Yeah, that's where he's at.
Next year.
Is that where are you moving there, or is that just going to be like a summer place?
But yeah, that's our summer place.
Yeah, okay.
Can't live up there in the cold.
Oh, I'm actually kind of like that. I'm glad to hear that. I don't want to lose you, even though we don't really get to hang out. I don't want to lose you. Speaking of which, today we are celebrating 100 days of environment.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
This is the last triple-digit day.
Yeah, I'll be a double-digit midget tomorrow.
Nice.
Congratulations on that, man. We're getting down to the wire.
Yep. Thanks, sir.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So I got piranha and crawdads on my bucket list. What's on y'all's bucket list? No, nothing really. John, do you have a big Jack Crevalle under your belt?
A big Jack Crevalle?
Yeah.
No, I got a small Jack Crevalle under my belt.
Okay, see, that's one I want to desperately get to see. I want to see you on a big ass Jack. Grant, I still want to see you on a big shark.
Yeah, there's a lot of saltwater that's on the list to catch. Heat caught bass would be neat. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Tarpon are fun.
Thank you, David. You know, I wanted peacock bass really bad when you had to go down to Central America or where to catch them, right? Down Panama and all that area. And then all of a sudden they brought them up to Florida. I'm like, it's not as sexy, you know, to hold up peacock bass in Florida as it would be if you're down like Panama or somewhere.
That's the exact opposite.
No.
That's weird because like I don't care about going to the Amazon for piranha. And I'm definitely not going to Australia for crawdads. But the fact that they exist here makes me like, oh, I got to get that fish. But it's a little different. I guess it's a little different in that it's in Florida, not Texas. If those in Texas, it'd be a little bit more like I'd want to be jumping in on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of salmon or salmon, trout,
Yeah, that's
a lot of different things. I haven't thought. Salmon, trout, all the different beautiful trout there are.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, like I don't even want to catch trout or salmon. I want to be good at catching trout and salmon. You know, like I want a bunch of them. I don't want just one so I can say I caught one once.
Hold it close to the camera.
I'm a big dude. Like I want a smorgasbord of trout and salmon on the grill, however I'm cooking it.
You just need to catch a few out of the ponds and put them in a fish tank and let them breed. Then you can put them in your own ponds.
Chris, can you catch tarpon on a fly rod? Yeah. Okay, I got something to say about that. Yes, you absolutely can. You're going to need a big-ass fly that you're going to be casting out there. It's got to be the right day. It's not just like any day of the week you're going to be able to do that. But also, anytime that you go out there with a fly rod, the problem is that there's probably going to be 2 or 3 other guys who have fly rods, and they are going to be complete assholes who have no idea what they're doing, and they are going to be completely not respected by the other fishermen in the area, and you're going to get lumped in with those guys. You'll tell them right off the bat. They're going to have like a curly damn mustache. They'll have a beautiful tan and a sexy body, but they're going to be complete, you know, like never done any hard work in their entire life. I don't like the fly fishermen on the jetties. They drive me up a wall. They also don't last long, so it's fine. But yeah, you could. My grandfather actually used to do it for kingfish, and he had a lot of fun doing it. So as much as I'll knock the millennials doing it now, you can do it.
Cool. We got pictures this week?
Yeah, we do. Thank you for the yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Go ahead and pick that up. It is that time. Because we sure do. It is that time. We're going to take a look at our photos of the week. These are courtesy of the Premier Fishing and Hunting Discord server. If you've not already joined, you need to do so. There is a link in the description of the video down below. Come and have some fun with this so that we can enjoy your catches right along with you. Kicking things off this week, we got, of course, Zane.
Dang.
These are the pictures that he was referring to last week. I finally got them in.
Dang.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I understand why he was wanting to see him last week since he was here. Those are nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, Yank, get out that. What you need is get yourself a good Zane mustache. Like that.
Yes.
Wow. That's a bad mofo.
The scenery is just like, what?
Yeah, yeah. And
Winter
of course,
time.
on the server, he's got like 30 photos of stuff like, that boat, those road signs. I'm not even close to doing him justice on this one.
Pretty. Glad he gets to do that.
Yeah.
Very blessed.
Chris, I'll get with you. All you got to do, there is a section. I'll make sure you got everything you need in there. There's a section of the server called photos. You got to put them in there. It's got to kind of be this thing. Otherwise, it gets kind of hard to handle, like direct messages and other servers and stuff like that for me. But I'll get all that to you whenever I see you after the show.
Bass, trout, walleye.
Oh, so right now that is the server record saw guy. And I don't remember the weight, or I think it was 22 inches. 4 pounds, 22 inches, I believe.
Oh, that's a saw guy.
Yeah.
That's big. They look just like walleye. That's what I don't understand.
It's a walleye.
Yeah.
I think it's just a walleye that lives in like the warm.
Different fins, maybe. The fins shaped a little different on
Probably something like that.
maybe.
Yeah, I think they're just like stocked or something, right? Like, I don't think they're natural. I don't think.
Gotcha.
I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I think that's like a North Texas thing. I know, WTF Mike, he's got him up there.
Okay.
I've heard people talk about them, but I've never really figured out the difference. It's a walleye saw guy hybrid stocked by the DNR. Well, there you go.
Yeah, okay. Ronnie, is that you? Y'all the same person here? Or you just know your walleye?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the obligatory Big Hit Savage.
Golly, all those
All of those are him, but also what you're not seeing is the 17 pictures that these are piled on top of, because I just did a big dump of all of his photos onto this slide and just kind of organized them as best I could.
Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, appreciate having you here, and thank you for the heads up on that, man, because I do not know anything about. I've caught a few walleye. My personal record on that's, I think it's 24 inches on a walleye, but I don't do it very often. I don't know my stuff. It gets a little confusing.
Yeah, I saw where you put that Fishing Complete ink.
Yeah,
I
got to speak to Jerry about that. She passed that along to those guys. I haven't heard from him. She said I was going to be getting an email. It hadn't happened yet.
I was going to say she's been wearing the walleye out on Facebook. She posted a picture, I think Saturday or Sunday morning. She took a group of 4 out and then went back out that afternoon and caught another limit.
Ah, nice.
A different group of people, I'm assuming, caught their limit.
All she wasn't like driving up and handing off the bucket to get a new empty bucket.
Right. Yeah, they've been wearing them out.
Nice. All right, next up, Pixu with his very first pike, which measured in at almost 32 inches. Noah got himself a big old carp, and then EVR and his buddy went out. What's his buddy's name? I forget the buddy's name, but they went out and just killed it. We're talking about trout. Look at that thing.
It's cool.
Yeah, nice.
That is amazing. Yeah, that's a freaking awesome trout.
Yeah, it's a pretty picture.
Yeah, it is. He knew what he was doing. Him and his buddy, they knew what they were doing when they were taking those pictures. And you're going to see what he was doing in just a minute here. Next up, we got Daiwa enthusiast and professional lure loser.
Trout,
Both
man.
those guys getting out into it.
That's a lot of trout.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Although I would take about a dozen of those bluegill hand size.
Yeah, I agree. My summers, man, now we've got so entrenched in doing Wisconsin and, July 4th time of year. We get to leave the heat from here to go just experience that wonderfulness up in Wisconsin. And now this has just become synonymous with what summer is supposed to be. Like, John, I completely understand. Like, you talking about going to Michigan, I get it. And I was never like that before Rachel. She convinced me after going up there.
Sweet variety.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good mix there. What fish?
Is that a smallmouth at the bottom?
Yeah, it looks like smallmouth at the bottom.
I think
right?
so.
In the middle. I'm saying that's huge.
Oh, in the
That-
middle? No, that's one of those
That-
foreign things, ain't it? What is that?
Carlos 26. He's the one out of Australia that we say that every
that's what I
time.
thought.
Yep.
It was what he called those, like yellow perch or something.
I don't remember what
Mm.
they
Pretty.
And he doesn't ever stick around to chat. I can never get answers out of him.
Good pictures, though.
Yep.
Yes, very much.
Oh, there you go. That's a
Eat.
good picture. Now, how's that fish prepared?
Grilled.
The grilled?
Said that was on, and that was the fish, right? That's Aeon right here. Aeon, you still in the chat, buddy? So that was Aeon's fish in the middle there, and then to the left was him cooking them up. And I think that was like his first crappie.
Those
You
aren't
talking about the one they cooked or something? Because those aren't crappie.
Yeah, that in the middle, whatever that what is that? Well, he's in like Malaysia or something.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's some kind of looks like shaped like a grunt.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? It looks kind of like a what are those called, a like a sergeant major a little bit.
Huh. You talked about stripers earlier. There's a striper for you.
That was Kiwi. He was the one who was asking about that. And yeah, Kiwi, man, everything that I said earlier, we talked about this multiple episodes. So everything that you guys are seeing with the striped bass is the exact issue that we're seeing with red snapper. So yeah, you need to go to your state meetings when they have them about like the fishing rules and regulations. They'll do that, and it's maybe hard to track that stuff down, but it is worth your time getting involved with that kind of stuff. We do it here. Not enough. Like, everybody needs to do it more, because it's going to be the commercial guys who are just going to completely own those rules and regulations if you're not involved.
That does kind of look like a tilapia.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what it was.
Yep. I guess they just scaled it and seared it.
Yeah, I was just trying to more. Is that rice or something? What is that with it? Bread?
I don't know what the side dishes are.
The bowl looks like fish lips at the top. Some fish lips.
Why couldn't I do that for 10,000 subscribers? That's fish lips. I'll do that. Somebody send me a bowl of fish lips. We'll have some fun with this. I can do that. As long as it's not like catfish.
Bass, nice trout.
VLXNA. So that is the last fish of his very first fishing season.
Oh wow, nice.
First season. Nice. It's a good bass.
You just save all your fish lips. Here we go. Game on. Yeah, that is a good one, man. Congratulations on your first season, and congratulations on ending it in style.
Pretty.
Oh, here we go. So here's Aeon. He says, I didn't have only a grilled tilapia. He had sticky rice is the side of it. It looked good, man. I want to see more of that because that looked fantastic. It kind of encourages me. Like, I want to do some catch and cook grilled stuff like that, especially after that eel.
More trout. Boy, there's a lot of trout being caught.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Now, North Bunch, I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, I got that wrong. That's not North Bunch, and I don't know that guy's name.
Oh, well. Whoever it is, I'm not sure what that is.
Whoever that is not North Bunch, let me know. In the comments of this video, let me know who that is, who I got this wrong. We'll do something special for you. And we'll do a shorts video or something specifically just for you and your catches. But you're going to have to catch this. I'm not going to mention it in the server. We're going to see if you're watching. Now, that having been said, I do got to say, who is holding your fish for you, Nick? And why are you letting them do that?
Oh, yeah. I just noticed. I hadn't noticed that.
That looks like an AI photo.
Yeah. Somebody else is holding the fish. He's just posing behind it.
Yeah,
yep. It's like he's just posing, and somebody's like, hey, here, take a picture with my fish real quick, and they take a selfie.
Nick, you gonna let him talk about you like that?
Yeah. What are you gonna do, Nick? All right, and it is that time. We need to crown ourselves a new photographer of the week. Whoever wins this is going to earn themselves a spot on the 2024 Wall of Fame, and our options this week are EVR with that badass trout, Kiwi with that nice striped bass, or Nick G with somebody else's fish. Let us know in the chat right now who needs to be added to the 2024 Wall of Fame.
All right, voted in.
You're gonna be around.
Coming fast and furious. Look at that.
Yeah, it is.
Clean sweep so far. That's just a beautiful photo.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is what do we got here? 1, 2, 3.
Showing 11 watching. We need 11 votes. Tony going for Kiwi. That is a pretty picture.
I gotta say, something I gotta say about this. Kiwi has, I don't even remember how many weeks he has had something on the board here. And he keeps getting beat by somebody with a really phenomenal fish. Every time he gets up here on the board, he had some solid tuatog last time. If you are on the fence voting, I'm going to personally say that if you're on the fence, cast your vote for Kiwi. At the very least, Kiwi deserves it for being a solid member of the Discord server and for being here in the chat on the live stream. Deserves at least some peripheral votes for that.
Yeah, it's a pretty picture. But that trout in the stream,
Cowboy hat.
back, gosh, it's just I could see that being John with the cowboy hat. No.
Yank, I'm counting that.
Hey, you got lucky. What's
You
up?
got lucky. You being quiet there. What are you doing hiding in the background?
Voted. That's what counts.
That's true. That's true. Appreciate having you here. I'm afraid, gentlemen, we are at the 1 hour mark, and that is it. I'm going to have to call it. EVR is running away with it on this one. You had an excellent catch. Kiwi, you did a fantastic job, man. You are going to get on the board. Keep doing what you're doing because you're doing excellent work, and I want one of your catches, if not more, on the board. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being active in the server. Also, a big pat on the back to Zane, Big Hit Savage, Professional Lure Loser, and Aeon. You guys are all being added to our weekly waitlist or award winners. Thank you so much for being so active and participating in the server. We really appreciate you. I look forward to seeing all the great things that you have in store for us in the coming weeks. Gentlemen, what can we expect to see from you this week when we do it all again next Tuesday?
I got some video still to work on that I should have had done already, so maybe I'll get motivated and work on it.
I've been putting out a few shorts here and there. I had that one of the buck pop a little bit, my best short. We'll see. You got lucky. He's supposed to get with me this week and go sight in his new rifle, and then
Nice.
Nick might be coming down from St. Louis to bow hunt this weekend. We're trying to work that out.
Oh, that would make if you do that, I want to see like a full-on 20-minute video. That would be freaking amazing.
Yeah, we're trying to work it out. He's trying to get down here.
Awesome. I'm going to work on some editing. I need to get a couple of videos published and get them out the door here. Although I did take an extra day off this week. If I can slip out and get some fishing done, I will. We will see. I'll let you know this weekend, and we will all be sharing all of our experiences in the Discord server. There is a link in the description down below. Come and join us. Have some fun with us. I hope you have an amazing week, and we look forward to seeing you when we do this all over again on Tuesday. Have a good night, guys.
Peace out.
Have a great week.